like to call this meeting to order. If you'd all please rise and join Joanne Osborne in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, as a human body, we come here today with heavy hearts for the people of Japan and all whom have been affected by the earthquake and tsunami. We ask that you bring speedy recovery, healing, and love, for there is much devastation. We also ask that democracy and freedom win worldwide, for the conflicts are many in different countries. We ask for protection over all who serve us, and that each of us here today can make wise decisions for us all. In your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
City Clerk, roll call. I guess you're going to call the roll first and then a motion, or how we want to do that? Okay.
Councilmember Sousa.
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne.
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano.
Aye.
Councilmember Gelzer.
Present.
Vice Mayor Pizzillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Cavalier. Absent. Need a motion to excuse him.
Can I get a motion to excuse?
So moved.
Second.
So we got a motion from Councilmember Loretano and a second from Councilmember Osborne. Says just aye or a roll call?
Just aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Have no expenditures to review. On the under the communications would be next. We've got a proclamation acknowledging Fix a Leak Week, which is March 15th to March 20th. Just got a short piece here I'm going to read regarding to Fix a Leak. We live in a desert. Water is valuable. Someone moved from Portland to Goodyear and was shocked to find water far less expensive in Arizona than Oregon. As a result, we take the for granted. Leak in your bathroom, kitchen, or outside are not only wasting water, but they are costing you money. Sandra Rode, the city's water conservation specialist, has brought free leak detectors for you to take if you haven't already. And in recognition of Fix a Leak Week this week, please take a detector with you and start saving money and energy. With that, I'd like to move to the second phase of our communication. Is it Jennifer Campbell who's going to come up and give us an overview?
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Council members. I would like to briefly talk to you about our green waste program that we have implemented here in the city and a partnership with Hickman's. The green waste program, basically what that is that we take all of the clippings that we take from the parks and all the right-of-ways and the medians, and that includes the shrubs and the trees. We take those, we collect them, we chip them up into a 40-yard roll-off container, which then Hickman's comes, they pick that up, they take the chippings, they then grind them up even finer, and they go ahead and they turn that into mulch and compost that they can then use at different farms. They can give to farmers, nurseries. So it's a great program in the fact that what we used to have to do with our green waste is we had tipping fees. We would actually have to take it to the dump to just go ahead and get rid of it. So it wasn't exactly helping the environment because, again, you're just dumping it, and it did cost the city money. Currently, to date, because of this program, we have contributed 271 tons of green waste to this program. It started the end of March in 2010, and it still continues. We also brought in the sanitation department within this program. The bulk waste that they do collect from our citizens is, again, they collect that, they're able to chip it up and also put that into the roll-offs. To date, we have saved $8,545. Since March of 2010, the end of March 2010. So it's a wonderful program in the fact that it's wonderful for the environment. It helps us get rid of our green waste, and it also saves the city money. I did want to go ahead and introduce really quick and have her say a couple words. Charmin Hickman, she's with the community support for Hickman's Farms, and she just wanted to say a couple words because we are very happy with the partnership that we have with them.
First, thanks for the opportunity to recognize my family business. Our grandparents started in 1944, so I'm a third-generation egg farmer in Arizona, And farmers have always been green as a necessity to keep our business going and thriving. And we're very proud to be a part of a program that is able to take what you give us and then in turn donate to people that need to start in America, like the International Refugee Farmers. We donated 150 tons of compost and fertilizer, and they were able to bring their products to market and make a home here in America. So I just want to tell you thank you on behalf of about 600 people that call Hickman's Family Farms their career.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we'll get an update on crime rates and crime trends, and I'm going to turn that over to our city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. It's a little unusual for this to be turned over to me, but before Mark Brown takes the podium, I wanted to announce, most of you know this already, but for those of you who don't, Mark has submitted his resignation to me as the Chief of Police and going into retirement as of September 30th, 2011, after 24 years of law enforcement work and 21 of them in Goodyear. He has been with Goodyear Police Department since November 1990 and was named the chief in September of 2003. He started his law enforcement career with a 10-month stint in Phoenix, and he then spent 2 years with the city of Avondale and then woke up and got the light and came to Goodyear. During Mark's tenure as police chief, the overall crime rate has significantly been reduced, despite significant population growth. It is now down to its lowest level in 5 years, reducing steadily every year since 2006, when there were 53.9 crimes per thousand population, from 53.9 down to 31.9 crimes in 2009. As you will hear from him in a few moments, 2010 is also trending downward. Chief Brown can also be credited with establishing the city's street crime unit, which has the flexibility of working outside the normal beat system and can be rapidly deployed to target specific areas or incidents. Chief Brown has valued community partnerships, as evidenced by his work with the Southwest Advocacy Center, faith-based community, local school districts, citizen and teen police academies. Chief Brown has been a valued member of the city's management team for many years. His vision, leadership, and commitment have made a tremendous difference in a city and to the police department. We are sad to lose Mark, but we are joyful that we have several months to say goodbye. Mark, thank you very much for everything that you've done for this community.
Thank you, sir. I wasn't expecting that. Vice Mayor, members of council, I do have some good news regarding our crime rates. If you'll see on your screen that since our kind of a spike in 2006 where we had 53.9 crimes per thousand population, and that's how we determine our crime rate is per thousand people. That means that in 2006, almost 54 people out of 1,000 were going to be the victim of one of those Part 1 crimes, and those are listed below of arson, homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, theft, or vehicle theft. Largely what we see in the city of Goodyear is property crime. If you look at our crimes against persons, they are extremely low. I will say one thing, that the homicide that shows up there as 0.02 crimes per thousand people is based on, or is actually a vehicular homicide, the one where the woman was hit and killed by a drunk driver on her motorcycle. So that shows up as a homicide due to classification there. But seeing that we've gone from 54 in 2006 down to 32 is a pretty significant decrease in crime. And we look at that for many reasons, why that happens. We look at some of our workload indicators. And the workload indicators is just what do our people do to make those things happen. We saw an increase in our citations and tickets issued over a year. And we saw our arrests go up as well. So arrests are going up and crime is going down. So we believe that there are a lot of people out there committing multiple crimes, and by arresting one, we are probably addressing several crimes that they would have done. We're also reaching some of our other goals. Our response times, our service to the community. When they call a police officer, how quickly can we get to there to address their problem? So looking at our priority one, which is our absolute urgent calls, we're reaching within our stated goal of 7 minutes. We've increased that from 91% in 2009 to 94.5% of those calls in 2010. And we look at our CompStat program as the foundation for a lot of these things. It's a management accountability program, plus it's a crime reduction program. And the way that that works is holding specific people accountable for crime in certain areas of the city. By increasing that, we're also looking at, we're targeting specific crime. We look at this every 30 days. We know where those hot spots are. So we look at the geography, the types of crime, and or other type of prolific offenders in those areas. There's an emphasis on communication through CompStat for all of our staff so that we're improving that. We know what's going on through all 3 of our shifts every day. We focus on directed patrol. Directed patrol is having officers visible in neighborhoods. There have been studies going back to the 1950s that said that the presence of officers, while it may not make crime go away, it certainly can push it out of certain areas. So our goal is to create areas where we have those hot spots where we're showing that officers are present, and we're hoping that we can push that out of the city if necessary. Our street crimes unit has been a great addition for us, and I thank the council for your support in allowing us to get that in 2008. But we can put those on hotspots, and they don't have to be stuck to a radio calls. There's some flexibility in the missions that they do, and that helps us tremendously in addressing those. They are, unfortunately, the most sought-after resource within our department, and very busy folks. Some of the additional factors, this is from our crime analysts, how they look at this and what they surmise as what are some of the reasons. But, you know, the crime is down in a lot of areas, maybe not as significantly as in our city, but we have fewer vehicles traveling across the United States. People don't have the money to travel as much as they used to. So they're staying around, and we have more victim pools in certain areas. So more people at home, less opportunity for criminals to do their job in certain areas, again, pushing that out to other targets of opportunity. One of the interesting trends we've seen here in Goodyear is that in 2008, about 70% of the people we arrested were not residents of our city. But yet in 2010, about 50% of the people we arrested were not residents. So we're arresting more of our homegrown people in that.
Chief, what was the nature of the arrest? Do you have any idea what level?
Well, you know, largely probably misdemeanor crimes or your less serious offenses. But there's been arrests for all kinds of things, all the way up to that homicide that we had.
Okay.
So in very serious assaults, I mean, we've had a lot of arrests for a myriad of different crimes.
Thank you.
Sure. That's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Before we get into the citizens' comments, I want to just recognize, I noticed there's a Boy Scout troop out there in the audience, and pleased to see you out there participating in local government. So hopefully you guys will get something out of this. With that being said, now comes the time for citizens' comments, appearance from the floor. 3 minutes. I ask if we have any comments, please step up to the podium, state your name, your address, and please speak into the microphone. Do we have any?
No, I do not.
Okay. With that being said, City Clerk, could you please read the consent agenda by title?
Item A, approve draft minutes of a work session and a special meeting held on Tuesday, February 15th, 2011. Item B, adopt the formal name of Portales Park for the park located at Pebble Creek Parkway and Monte Vista. Item C, adopt resolution 11-1420, authorizing the mayor to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the state of Arizona to outline responsibilities for costs of energizing and operation and maintenance of underdeck lighting at I-10 underpasses at Litchfield Road, Bullard Avenue, and Estrella Pebble Creek Parkway.
Do we have any cards from the public?
No, I don't.
Is there anybody on the council that has a question or would like to pull an item from the agenda? With that, can I get a motion?
Move the adoption of the consent agenda.
Second.
So we've got a motion from Councilmember Sousa and a second from Councilmember Gelser. With that,
Councilmember Sousa,
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne,
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano,
Aye.
Councilmember Gelser,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Pizzillo.
aye.
Passes 5-0.
With that, we get to our business portion of the agenda, and City Clerk, you're going to give us a presentation?
Good evening, Vice Mayor and council members. It has been a really long time since I've been up here. Tonight you have two resolutions to consider. Both of them are to adopt the results of the election that we held last Tuesday. One is for the primary election, and the second resolution is for the special election. In the primary election, we had 3 seats to fill, and we had 6 candidates running. And as of at the final results, it shows that incumbents Joanne Osborne and Sherry Loretano received the majority of the votes and are declared elected, and they will take office in June. In the special election, the council authorized the call of this special election last November as a result of then Mayor Jim Kavanaugh resigning and Councilmember Georgia Lord resigning to run for the mayor. We had, in both of those races, we had 3 running for mayor and 2 running for the unexpired term of council member. And in a special election, the winner is calculated differently. It is the candidate that has the highest number of votes. And Monday night, Tuesday, Georgia Lord had the highest number of votes for mayor and is declared elected, and Wally Campbell had the highest number of votes for the position of council member and is declared elected. Now, in the primary election, we still have 1 seat to fill, and there will be a runoff election in May, and we go to the next 2 highest vote getters. And for this general election, it will be Bill Antonucci and William Stipp. They will be on the ballot for the May election. I did receive additional information from the county this morning, and by the voter registration cutoff date, we had 32,103 registered voters that were eligible to vote in this election. 9,222 votes were cast, giving us a 28.73% voter turnout. Still not very good, but it's higher than it was in 2009 when it was 28.18%. So we have another election. Registration is open until April 18th. Ballots will be mailed on April 21st, and City Hall will be opened as an early ballot drop-off on Monday, April 25th. Are there any questions?
Well, do we need the reading of the resolution,
Yes.
then get a motion, then the
Yes.
question?
Yes. I'll read the first one first. Resolution 11-1421, declaring and adopting the results of the primary election held on March 8th, 2011, and ordering the recordation of such resolution.
Did you have any cards to speak on?
No.
Specific? Okay, with that, let's get a motion.
Move the adoption of the resolution.
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion from Councilmember Sousa and a second from Gelser. Let's start to the left. Any comments?
I want to know how many write-in votes I got.
Unfortunately, the county does not share the write-in votes. They just tell me how many there are.
Hey, thank you. I just wanted noted that there were 30 write-in votes. Besides Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, Gary probably got 2.
Councilmember Loretano.
No, I'd just like to thank the citizens of Goodyear.
Councilmember Sousa.
I'm very happy with the outturn of the election. Unfortunately, there was a very large turnout, which is par for the course for us anymore. I don't know how we generate an interest in city government by 32,000 voters, but I don't think it's it's good for us that only 9,000 people turned out. So Those are my comments. Thank you. Thank you for a nice job, by the way. You did
Thank you.
excellent job.
Councilmember Osborne.
Well, I'd certainly like to thank our citizens for the ones that did come out and vote. You know, in the prayer I stated earlier was for those different countries that are fighting for democracy and for freedom. And sometimes we take that for advantage here in the United States. And I hope that for this next election we even get another at least 10% added on to that 28%. But I'm very thankful to the ones that did get out and vote, and I appreciate their support.
The only thing I would like to add is next 2 weeks from Monday, we're going to be seating the two individuals that won the mayor's race and also won the council seat. And I'd like to welcome them both aboard as a team member of the city council. And like I said, when I first took this over about 4 months ago, together we can all do great things. So I know as a member of the two new members to the team, they'll be working to do that exactly that. So those are my only comments. Thank you.
And that will be at 4:30 on Tuesday, the 28th.
Okay. With that, since we have the first resolution on there, we roll call vote?
Yes. Councilmember Sousa?
Aye.
Councilmember Gelzer?
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne?
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Pizzolo?
Aye.
Vote is 5-0.
Can you read the next resolution by title?
Resolution 11-1422, declaring and adopting the results of the special election held on March 8th, 2011, and ordering the recordation of such election. Such resolution.
Any comments, cards from the floor?
No.
Can I get a motion?
Move the adoption of the resolution.
Motion from Sousa, second from
I'll
Gelzer.
second it.
Okay. Any further discussion?
No.
Go ahead.
Councilmember Gelzer?
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne?
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Sousa?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Pizzolo?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. With that, we come to the point where we talk about comments, reports on current events. We'll start over here to the right. Councilmember Osborne.
Thank you. Last Saturday, I participated in the Hike for the Homeless, and I know that we did have some Goodyear citizens and Goodyear employees that came out for the hike. I really appreciate everyone that went out there that day to help the homeless. Also attended the Southwest Valley Chamber Board meeting, both the Goodyear in Action and the YMCA charity games, which were wonderful days, and I really would like to encourage everyone to get out there, especially this week being spring break for the kids, get out there and go to a ball game. And again, you know, I appreciate the voters out there, but I truly appreciate 10 other people besides myself that stepped up to the plate to make a difference in their city, and I hope they stay active within everything that we do in this city, and I appreciate every one of them.
Thank you. Councilmember Gelzer.
This past week, last week, I went to the police department's ComStat meeting, and as the chief eloquently described, crime is down. The ComStat meeting for those citizens is basically an analysis, a management meeting and an analysis of where crime is happening and how can we prevent it. And it's very interesting, and I'm sure that if you wanted to go, you could get invited. But it's one of the ways that our police department is doing a really good job and looking towards the future and protecting the citizens of Goodyear. The other meeting that I went to was a monthly luncheon for the Children's Hospital, and it basically is a way to build awareness for the new hospital and urgent care center that the Children's Hospital is going to be building in Avondale. And if you're interested, I encourage you to check that out also. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Loretano.
Yes, I attended the Goodyear in Action board meeting, and I was voted on as one of the new board members for Goodyear in Action. I think it's a great organization that really wants kids to get up and moving and involved in their community. And I'd ask everybody to keep an eye out. There's posters everywhere. They're doing events once a month at different locations throughout the valley. And on the 25th, they're going to participate in the baseball game. So please come out and support that and support the baseball. 80, 90-degree weather this weekend, so please come out and support that.
Councilmember Sousa.
You know, we have many ordinances on the books about placing items on city property. I don't know how we can really enforce these issues other than with people that we have on staff right now. I know they're overburdened a lot of times with what they have to do. But on Palm Valley Boulevard, on almost every other signpost or lamppost, there is a lost cat notice. It certainly is unattractive, and I wish that the people who are going to take them down would telephone the people that put them up, because there is a telephone number on the I don't want to call it an ad, but a notice, so to remind them that there's an ordinance in place that prohibits this type of display. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess the only thing I want to add is, I guess one of the great joys of this job was about a week ago, and I guess what I really love doing is I got to read to the 4 to 6-year-olds at Primrose School and Dr. Seuss's birthday. Now, I have a granddaughter about that same age, and I can tell you, just watching those kids as you sit there and read to them and the feedback, to me, that was a great thing. Again, for those that ran, please stay active. This is a great city. There's a lot of great things we can do if we're all working together. With that, I'd like to go next to the manager's summary report. Anything you'd like to report to us, please?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, let's see. With that, staff summary of follow-up action required? I don't think there
I
was.
have nothing to follow up on.
Okay. Anything council wants to direct to staff at this time?
Other than what I said.
Other than that? Wait a minute. Let's start. Okay.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
If this is really more for the citizens than for staff, if you'll notice, about a month ago, the city completed their purchase of all the light poles in the city that run down the medians. The city actually owns them now, and we've started putting up banners, and they really look pretty good. And we're starting to have a little bit more class in Goodyear. So I want to thank the Public Works Department for a job well done. I want to thank the city for actually the council for making it happen, and I think it enhances what we're trying to do here in Goodyear.
Councilmember Lortani?
Well, one thing I would just ask and I don't know exactly how to officially go about this, but once we get some of the new people seated, if we could do a work session that's kind of like a retreat, more of like an idea sharing, just kind of get those ideas out there and kind of goal setting. I'd really like to do that.
We have those already planned, Councilmember Larotano. I'm working with Mayor Lord to schedule all of those out and get them scheduled, because it's a great opportunity with a new city council to get those things all on the table. So we're excited about that.
Thank you.
Councilmember Sousa?
I have nothing else.
Okay. Councilmember Osborne?
Well, I appreciate that. I think that would be an excellent idea. Something that really, I think, came more to light to me in this last election, that I would wait for that goal setting. However, there's nothing like the present. And so I wanted to put forth an idea that we need to involve our businesses more and get their input more. And even though I have been a very strong advocate for a small business and having our workshops, and I know that the city has really done a great job stepping up, trying to make a difference for big business, little business, everything. But with all the committees and the commissions that we have, Recreation Roundtable, Arts, Youth, everything that we have, we do not have a business task force or a business committee or a business forum that we bring the business owners in Goodyear together and talk about the fees. We talk about what can we do better to improve. We talk different things like that to really get more ideas. And so I'd like to lay that out for the future, that we consider doing that for the businesses of Goodyear.
We've noted it, Ms. Councilmember Osborne, and we will certainly discuss it in the future.
Thank you.
The only thing two things to add to is I like Councilmember Lortano's idea, and I'm glad we're working on that, to move forward with goals and objectives for all. And I think that's probably something, Councilmember Osborne, that would probably come up in that setting. I'm guessing so. All right, with that, I have future meetings here. I have a work session for March 21st. Was that canceled?
That was canceled,
Okay,
yes.
that's what I thought. Okay, so then the next one, we have a work session at, that's been changed to 3:28. We've moved that, we've got something there, what, on the 4:30 for the swearing in?
The swearing in and a small reception at 4:30 and a work session at 5.
Okay, so just let everybody know on the March 28th, 4:30 a.m., p.m., yeah, not a.m., p.m., we'll have the swearing in of the new council members on the special election, and then followed by that, we'll have a work session, and then we'll have, what, a regular meeting also?
Yes.
And then on 4/11 will be the next work session, starting at 5 o'clock, and 4/11, the regular meeting at 6 p.m. Those are all accurate?
Yes.
That's good? All right, with that, meeting adjourned.